Well, hello, crafty friends, and welcome to the Lindy's Gang YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to do a video for you showing how I use stencils with Lindy's Gang sprays. This is one of my favorite techniques, and the reason that I do this technique is so that I can get that shimmer and shine in my background with just the sprays and not having to use any sparkle ink or any pigmented paint to get that shimmer and shine afterwards. So here I have a stencil, and this stencil has a lot of things on it. And I found that if I'm not careful, that I will accidentally go into one of the other things with my blending brush, and I will make marks on my page accidentally by going into a different line. As you can see, there's several different lines on the stencil. And so I've taped those off with some mint tape. So I'm just taking a blending brush, and the colors that I'm using here are Autumn Maple Crimson and Drop Dead Gorgeous Green. I'm switching now from the red to the green, and you want to be sure to wipe off your stencil. I like to put a paper towel underneath it because a lot of that color goes through the holes and gets to the backside, and then the color's on the backside. And I find that a paper towel just really soaks up all that extra color so that you don't accidentally get it on your project. There most definitely is a technique to this. So you have to make sure that your brush is not very wet. It needs to be more on the dry side than on the wet side. And right here you'll be able to see I'm picking up some of that green, and I kind of felt like my brush was too wet when I picked it up, and I wanted to just check it and make sure, and boy am I glad I did, because it was way too wet. So I'm just laying down my stencil where I want it to go across the red, and I'm feeling like the brush is wet, so I'm going to check it on that piece of scrap paper, and you can see how wet that really was there. Now, what would happen if I put that on the stencil, that wet, is that some of that wetness would get underneath the stencil and make a big mess. Your images would not be nice and crisp. They would bleed out, and it could ruin your project if that's not the look that you're going for. So have a piece of paper towel or a piece of extra paper there so you can check your wetness. And then if you have a silicone mat like I do, you can always just wipe your brush off into one of the trays, get a lot of that extra moisture off of it, and then crack on with putting down that color through the stencil. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. So this is just turning out so good. I love these colors of the light green and not a dark green with that red is just beautiful. And you're just going to grab, here I have a small blending brush because of the size of the stencil hole. And yeah, just use a blending brush or whatever kind of blending tool you might have. I think the bigger ones, the bigger blending brushes will work as well. You will have to maybe tape off a larger area, but they most definitely will work. And this is exactly why I do it this way. Look at this sparkle, is just gorgeous in this green. And you would not get that with just using an ink pad. Thank you so much for watching. I am Faye Russell for Lindy's Gang. If you like this video and want to receive more tips like this, please hit the subscribe button. You can follow Lindy's on Facebook, Instagram, on their blog, and of course right here on YouTube. Thank you so much. Take care and have a lovely week. Bye-bye.